Hi everybody, welcome to Pink Monarch Prints. My name is Pam and I'm a guest designer here today. I'm with Silver and Sparkles and I'll be showing you a really fun project. If you like what you see, I hope you will also go check out my channel. So what is this? This is a folder that I've made and I'm going to show you how to make one too that has really fun interactive tuck spots and pockets for beautiful gift tags. And I think this would just make such a delightful gift for a friend or someone in your life that you know will be doing some holiday wrapping, spreading some cheer this season, and may need a few extra little gift tags and things that they could use. This, of course, will also be great for a holiday junk journal or scrapbook. So lots of possibilities. I had a lot of fun designing it and making it, so I'm going to show you now how to do one. I used Pink Monarch Prints Joyful, I've got everything written down, Joyful Christmas papers. So here's some of the papers we're going to use today, and I only printed on one side. So you only need to print yours on one side if you're going to use these papers. And then I also am using the Joyful Christmas tags. There are so many, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. So that's another kit. And then I also decided to use the Christmas joy words. So again, all of this is optional. You can use whatever papers you have, whatever you feel like using, but this is just what I used to give you an idea in case you want to do a folder that looks similar to mine. All right, so the first thing you're going to need are 4 pieces of paper, and these measure 8 inches, so 8 inches this way, and 10.5 inches tall. So 8 inches wide, 10.5 inches tall. And again, you need 4 of them. I'm going to do just a little bit of scoring, so I am going to get out my scoreboard. And I haven't really thought through which is going to be the front and the middle pages. I'm just going to do mine, and it's going to be what ends up happening because all the papers look pretty regardless. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take 2 of your pages and you are going to score them at 4 inches. So just take the first 2 and score those sheets at 4 inches. And then the next 2 you're going to score, you're also going to score at 4 inches, but you are going, additionally, you're going to score at 7 1/4. So 4 inches, 7 1/4, and do that for 2 of the 4 pages. So 4 inches, whoops, I'll have to be careful, and 7 1/4. All right, and that's all the scoring we're going to do. So once you've scored your pages, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and fold on my score lines and just make sure, because like you saw me kind of go crazy there, just make sure everything is folded nice and neatly on the score lines. Okay, so do each page so that you'll be ready to go. Now, once we start gluing this together, you might have to do a tiny bit of trimming because no matter how careful I cut my paper and how careful I score, I always end up with just that tiny sliver, and I just thought I'd share that with you guys because if that happens to you, it's okay. It's all fixable, and we can still make a folder that looks really nice and neat and professional. Okay. And fun, right? Festive. I'm really enjoying using these holiday themed papers. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to set aside the 2 that have the 1 score line. So set those aside. And on the papers that you scored at 4 and 7 1/4, I'm going to have you fold over on that 7 1/4 line. So this is the 7 1/4 score line. And if you fold that back, this section here, if I remember correctly, but I'm not going to go from memory. This section is 3 1/4 inches wide. That's the section I'm talking about. We're going to glue this flap down. We're just going to glue it straight down. So just get out your glue. You can use a glue stick. I'm using wet white glue. Later, you'll definitely need something like what I'm using, some kind of wet white glue, because we're going to be doing a little bit of gluing where we add pockets and things and not the entire section. So that's hard for a glue stick. Glue stick isn't your best choice when you're doing that kind of gluing. Okay, so glue that nice and neat. And then set that one aside, and you're going to do the same thing with the other piece that you scored at 4 7 1/4. Fold that section and glue it down. So far, easy. And these are going to be some of the little pages in the folder that have all the pockets on them. All right. And like I said, there was no need to print on both sides because of the way we're going to assemble the folder. And then it also gives you kind of a double thickness. I used a 90-pound weight cardstock, so it's not super thick. But when you have the 2 layers, it ends up having a nice, it feels really good and it's nice and sturdy. Okay, now you are going to need these sections. So the first thing you're going to do is, got to remember what I did and not confuse myself. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure Pam's not confused. That's always important. And, whoa, where's the other one? Hold on, Pam's getting confused. All right, there we go. I got it. I just had to remember really quickly what I did. All right, so now you have these 2 pieces that you only scored out 4 inches. So the first one you've got it folded over, unfold it, so you have that 4-inch section to the left. And then the other one, you want that 4-inch section to the right. And we are going to glue this entire section to this panel. So this is going to end up being the back of my little folio. If you want the green plaid on the back, turn it this way, and you could go like this. Same exact thing. I hope I didn't just confuse you guys, but you have lots of choices. I liked mine with this red. So again, 4-inch section to the left, 4-inch section to the right, and then we're gonna glue this entire section, which measures, this is going to be the size of our folio, 6.5 inches. We're going to glue the 2 6.5-inch sections together. So this is where I am going to use a little bit of glue stick because this is a big section. I'm going to use a glue stick for the majority. And then I'm going to go back with my precision tip glue bottle and just go right along those edges. So I make sure everything is glued together really well. Don't want it going anywhere. You can use all glue stick, just make sure you get all the way to the edge, or you can just use your wet white glue. Do your best to line everything up. Of course, you're going to be coming just kind of right up to this fold line. You want that to still fold over nicely. And then this section, when it folds back, you may have a little line of white there, and that is where your inking will come in and take care of that for you. Okay, and I'd already inked around most of these edges. I'm going to go ahead and ink this section too, just because I don't want to see a lot of that white. All right, these are going to get covered up here in just a moment. All right, now This is going to end up being a page. So this portion, we are going to be gluing the, let's see, what was it again? The 4-inch portion to a 4-inch portion. This is where you might want to just take a peek at your patterns and just see, is this the colors, the direction you want everything. This one's going to end up going back like this. And I think I like that. The other option would be to see the red flowers and the red stripes, or I can have the red with the green holly. I'm just going to glue mine the way that I have it. All right, so take one of your sections that you've already glued a piece together. You want the glued page to the left because we are going to, actually, let's have the glued page to the right. Sorry about that. I just remember what we're doing because we're going to turn this into a pocket and it's going to be wonderful. So what you're going to want to do is fold it over. And this is the side we want to stay open. So I'm going to flip it this way. Flip it this way. I'm going to hold my hand here because I'm going to add glue just to these sections. And then we're going to flip it this way and put it down. Okay? No worries at all. So watch me do it before you do yours if you're crafting with me, because I'm going to show you a trick to line this up as well, so that if it's off just a smidge, it'll be easy to trim. So I'm adding glue to those 3 sides. I'm flipping it over. And now what I want to do is I want to line up all of this section that's folded to this folded section and get it nice and straight. And I'm paying attention top and bottom as well. And the reason I did it that way is, I don't know if you can see on the camera, see how mine is off just by that little smidge? Again, no matter how careful I am or how nice everything looks, there's always that little smidge. And it's okay. It's not the end of the world, because all you're going to do is you're going to grab your scissors. It's easier for me if I turn mine this way. And I am just going to trim that tiniest of sliver off. Now remember, I wanted this open, so that's a good thing. It's open. That's a pocket. And I've got a little smidge right here, and I'm going to trim it off. If you are not confident in trimming yours, I might suggest that you just ink it. Most people are not going to notice. Okay. And so far, I think we're looking really good. And then you can just add a little more ink there, and everything's looking great. Now we're going to put the last flap on. And same thing, we're going to be turning this into a pocket. So you want your piece that's you've already folded and glued to be to the right. And I am going to glue this because I also don't want to come over my fold line here. We're going to glue this one down, and it's probably going to be off by a smidge, and we'll trim it off. All right, so this is the side I want open. So I'm going to hold my hand there so I don't accidentally glue it. And I'm going to add glue to these 3 sides. This is the fold line. I'm trying to be neat. Sometimes it's hard. All right, again, we don't want to cross over that score line, so I'm going to come right up to it as neat as I can. And I do like to just make sure, yes, that's still folding okay. Everything looks good. Okay. Give it time to stick. And now you can see, again, I told you it was just going to be that little smidge off because we had to give a little right here so that your folio, your folder, whatever you want to call this thing, fits neatly, folds up neatly. So now I'm going to just take my scissors and trim. This one is off probably enough that if you wanted to lay this like on your paper trimmer, if you have a guillotine paper trimmer, you could do that. But it's just that tiny little sliver. All right. If you're not comfortable doing that, add some ink. Don't worry about it. Everything will be okay. All right. I am going to carefully fold back and forth and get, I could have inked these before I glued them together, but I'm just going to get everything a little more ink on it. I've done most of the inking off camera. There we go. Now let's see what we have. A lot of fun, right? Okay, so this is a pocket right here. And we have a page. We're going to be installing pockets on all of these areas. And then we also have a big one with a pocket here. And then the back panel. Okay, I love it. I love the size. It ends up being that 8" by 6.5. And I just like it. I think it's a fun size, and I think it would be just a lovely like housewarming gift or early holiday gift for somebody special in your life. Okay, so now let me give you the measurements of the pockets you're going to need. We're going to do one top loading kind of large pocket right here, and I've already got all my pockets pre-cut. So this one measures 3 3/4 inches by 2.5. So if you want yours to be the same size as mine, that's your measurement. And it's just a very simple rectangle pocket. And we're going to add glue to 3 sides. Now, I just used more papers from the Joyful Christmas paper kit. And again, they all kind of coordinate. I didn't plan out which patterns I was going to have. I just used the papers I'd already printed, started making the pockets. Okay, on this spread, this is where I'm doing 2 pockets and 2 pockets. And let me give you the measurements. You're actually going to need 4 because we're going to add little pockets to one of these panels as well. So you need 4 pieces that measure 3 3/4, and I made these 1.5 inches tall. You're going to use 2 on this panel. Save those 2 for in a little bit. And then you're going to need 2 that measure 3 inches by 1.5 because this section is more narrow. Okay, and we can decide about where we want them. I used the same paper. Again, I only printed on one side. You could change it up. On this one, I used the holly paper and had it match on I was kind of thinking this is like a 2-page spread, like in a journal, but that's totally up to you. You can decide which designs and papers, and if you want the pockets to match, I think it would be cute if they were all different. So up to you. All right, this pocket I am going to come up that's probably about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. And I tried to just have a similar border on the sides and the bottom. You do want to be careful not to take up your real estate with too much glue. So I didn't do great on this one, but it'll be all right. And again, I'm using the one I already glued down to help me see. So hopefully they're even. Make it look nice. And if we want to later, I went through on my original one and I used some of the Christmas Joy Word, the little tags. I included some just as tags in the folio, but I also used a few here and there to decorate some of the pages and pockets. So you can always go back and do that as well. And I might do a little bit of that today. All right, I'm going to just eyeball where I'm going to install this pocket. The top will be at about 2 3/4 inches down, if that helps you, if you're somebody that really likes to know all the measurements. But I am kind of just eyeballing what I think looks nice. The most important thing, I think, if you're going for the symmetry, is you pay attention and get these to match up, but you know, I could have staggered them. You know, they didn't have to be matchy. So make this your own. And if you want to do a different style or shape of pocket on a particular page, go for it. I'm going to show you multiple types, but you can change yours up. They don't have to be just like mine. Okay. Let's do this back spread next. This is where we are going to start with a square, and this square measures 5 inches by 5 inches, and then I just cut it on the diagonal. And I'm making a pocket, a large pocket, and it does happen to also match the front, which is kind of fun. Okay, and decide which way you like it to overlap. It doesn't matter which triangle is on top. We're going to just add glue to 2 of the sides. And I like this. It makes it a very secure pocket. You know, lots can fit in here. But then you can also kind of see what's in the pockets, and that's kind of fun. And we'll put some of the larger tags from the kit back here. All right, so again, I'm just showing you some really easy pocket styles, but if you wanted on the back here to put a bunch of the little bitty tags, you know, there's little teeny tiny tags, you could do, you know, just some long stripped pockets if you wanted to. You got lots of choices. Okay, on this one, I believe what I had planned for was a corner pocket, and I've kind of got 2 reds going on here, but that's okay. This one is a 3 by 3 inch square cut on the diagonal, and it works great because we're going to put one on this section, this flap, and I'm going to put it to this side, and it works great. It's the perfect size for this one. So let's glue it down, and then I'll show you what you're going to do, because that other panel is a little bit more narrow, and we're just going to trim it off a little bit. All right. And again, if I had kind of planned, I probably wouldn't do red to red, but it's okay. You know what I could do is I could put it over here. And then I don't have to have so much red and red. If you wanted to put it on the more narrow section, all I do is just trim a little bit of a tip off of the triangle. You can see here and here to make it fit. But because of my colors and how it worked out, we're gonna do this folio. See, we're just gonna wing it a little bit different, and I'm gonna put the triangle pocket on this panel. And then it's the correct size. Again, see how you can just change your mind and do what you think looks good. There we go. All right. Now, that means the papers that I cut that would have been installed here and here are now too wide. I told you needed 4 that were 3 3/4 by 1 1/2, and now what we need are them to be 3 inches by 1 1/2, the same as these. So I switched it up. I hope I haven't confused you, but all I'm gonna do is chop these to be 3 inches long, and everything's gonna be fine. If you cut yours by the way I told you, all you have to do is trim yours a little shorter, or like I said, install the triangle on this side and everything will be the right size. Okay, same thing. We're just going to add glue to 3 sides. I think what I really liked about this project is once I kind of thought of it as like a super stuffed folder, is by adding the ribbon and twines and things to all the tags, it just really makes it look super cute. And then what I was thinking is if someone uses these for their gifts or wants to use the tags in a different holiday journal that they have, This folio then can be a great insert in and of itself into a journal, or to hold other ephemera, or to put family photos. You could put Christmas cards you've received that year, different things. It can be like a memento folder. So there's still lots of things that you can do with it once the tags, if they end up being used. Okay, now we are going to, I've got 2 more pockets to install, and one is going to go here on this panel that you're going to see on the front of the folder. So this one measures 1.5 inches, and I made it 7 7/8, which is just that one little line right before 8. So it's right in here nice. The one I did on my prototype, I made it a little shorter. So I think I made it like 7.5, 7 7.25. So if you like that look and you want to see a little more of the border of the paper, and I kind of think I do. I'm going to trim this off. I want to see a little bit of that holly. So anywhere from 7.25 to 7 7/8 for this pocket. And this is going to be a side load. So we're going to leave it open on this side, add glue to 3 sides, and then we're going to be able to stack a bunch of tags in here. And it's going to be fabulous. So I hope you guys decide to make one. Like I said, you can make this with any paper. You can make it with scrapbook paper. I think I'm going to enjoy using mine this year. All right, I'm probably going to add some words here in a minute. And then on this one, I installed this one. It's 7 7/8 tall by 1.25 inch, and I'm going to leave it this height. And I know it's a little hard to see. I did not ink right here, this crease line. Get it folded back for you. Okay, now you can sort of see where it is. I want this centered on this panel, and it's just going to be a belly band, and we'll decorate it a little bit as well. I know the height of my tags, and I don't need any quite this tall, so I'm going to do glue pretty much just on the bottom, but then come down about 1 inch at the top with my glue, just to make the opening a little more snug. And I'm going to center it in here. All right, now it's the fun part. We just get to start decorating. So one thing that I really liked that I did on this one is I added a word label and a cute little bow. So let's do that. How would merry and bright look? These, I used some of these just as the rectangles, and then some I went through and I trimmed by kind of just paying attention to that inside part that is more of like a little tag shaped with the angled corners. And I think that will look cute. So it'll need a little bit of ink. And if I want to do a bow at the top, now I decided, this project took on a life of its own today. I decided I needed some ribbons that coordinated in a way that I thought looked good. So I hand dyed some seam binding this morning. It's also why my fingers are all, look like they're all inked up and dyed from the ink that I used. But that's what I used for the little bow. I used, I think, what did I do? The red, the green. I think for this one, though, I'm going to use a piece of just the natural twine at the top of this one. And then we'll use the red and the green on some of the other areas. I just think with this color palette that this is going to look nice. So I'm just tying a bow. And then I'm going to glue this down first. I'm just going to add glue to the center section because I don't want to accidentally, you know, glue my belly band closed. So let's just make sure that I did okay. I did. All right. And then I'm going to use a glue dot to stick this down. So you're probably saying, Pam, your glue dot's bigger and it's going to be gunky. What I do is I just kind of fold it all up on itself. These are super duper sticky, and get it nice and gooey. And now it's not sticky on this side. Everything's fine. It won't stick together. I like that. All right. So then I also, let's look at the front. And sometimes it's hard to tell what I'm going to want, what exactly I'm going to want to put on here until I get the tags in, because the tags just add so much to the whole design. Let's see. How about Peace on Earth? I like that little bit of green. I think I'm just going to leave it there as the rectangle. And I think I'm gonna take, because I can, right? Like, why not? Let's put a little piece of this ribbon up underneath. Oh, I love this ribbon. It's all crinkly and cute there. Or do I want it to come out this side? Depending on how you choose to decorate yours, you know, yours will definitely be different from mine, and what papers you choose, and that is all as it should be, right? All right, so I am going to put a glue dot. Sometimes getting it to release off of here is challenging. Put a glue dot to help my ribbon stay. And I'm going to put another one on this side, and then I'm just going to use glue. Now I could have used like my Fabrifix glue or something like that, but the glue dots are here and I don't have to wait for them to dry. Okay, very sweet. All right, I like that, and I definitely think I need something here similar to what I did with the other one. So how about how about Joy? It's a little neutral. I think I wanted something with some color, simply because this is kind of neutral. Ooh, what did I have? Ho, 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 or mistletoe. Let's go with mistletoe. I'm going to, again, trim the corners off of this one. And we're going to glue it down. I definitely, because I went with one of the more neutral patterns, I definitely feel like it needed something. All right. It's looking good. And again, these we can add to them as well, but let's put a few tags in. So the intent I had behind this project was to make the tags be part of the decoration, but really so someone will hopefully use them. So some of these I've printed on both sides. Some of these I only printed on one side. I got this a little tight. The other one fit in there just fine. I wonder what I did. I don't know. You never know. You never know in paper crafting. So to make this work, which one do I want? I think I want this one that has a little more contrast. I'm just going to take a tiny sliver off of both sides, and if I need to fix the curve, I'll do that just to make sure it fits. Like I said, I don't know what I did different on this one than on the original one, but it's all right. It's probably just how I ended up. My glue probably came over just a little too far, but this still looks great. Just add the ink, and then let's see. Yes, look at that. not a problem at all. And this is the wonderful thing about working with paper, is pretty much everything is fixable. And I love that. No mistakes in paper crafting. Okay, so I kept these all pretty simple. A few of them I layered, you know, you can layer some of the tinier tags on top. A few of them I added some words, but I think I'm going to use the red. It's almost like a pinky red. You know, to make them a little fancier. But again, my intent with this particular project was to just let these beautiful tags kind of stand on their own. And it also, when I don't spend a lot of time on them, if I'm going to just end up tying them to a gift that they might end up getting thrown away, I don't feel as bad as if I've spent, you know, 10 minutes on each tag and then I tie it to a gift and the person who received the gift didn't appreciate. It's not that they didn't appreciate it. They didn't know perhaps that I had spent a lot of time on that tag. So that was my thought with these. So many of these I am just going to go through and I'm going to stuff with different size tags, right? How cute. I definitely like having a piece of ribbon or something on the majority of them. I think it makes it look special. So that's something that I will spend a little time on, definitely. Let's see how this one looks in here. But I kind of like to go through and just see, okay, where do I want these? Where are they going to be? And then I can come through with my variety of ribbons and I can start adding the ribbons and seeing what I like. But this is also what I meant by, you can take one that's maybe a little more plain, and if you want to, you can start layering or even doing a collage with some of the tags on here, and they would look really cute. So, don't let my idea for the project, keeping it super simple, keep you from enjoying making super fancy tags, if that's what you're in the mood to do. Whoops. So again, we're gonna I like the idea of it kind of, like I said, being super stuffed. So lots of little tags, lots of little pieces, in my mind equates to lots of fun, right? And again, some of these I printed on both sides and some I didn't. Some of the words. And it just adds the color and the fun. And it just makes me really happy. Okay, here in the back, I think I saved, I've got these larger ones. So again, we get some ribbon on these. They're gonna look really good. Maybe we'll do that one and we can see the 25 there. And I printed the tag kit like 1.5 times. I did like all the pages once, and then I did a couple of the pages with some of the larger tags again. And you can tell I haven't even put them all in yet. Oh, we need something for these big pockets, and that does require, oops, it's right here, requires some of the taller ones. So it doesn't have to be that tall, but one like this would be good, right? And then let's see if I have some that I printed on both sides, because I think they'll look better in here. And I have this one. So again, definitely don't want to forget the big pocket here. And I may have to come through here and find some of the ones that I intentionally made sure I printed on both sides. These are a little bit short, but when you add ribbon or twine to the toppers, they work just fine. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to give you guys that sense, and I hope you like it. I'm not going to take a bunch of time here on camera to add ribbon to all of my tags because you can see I did a variety. I did some with bows. I looped some through. This is one of those shorter ones, but works fine because it has a tag. I did some twine bows. I stapled some on, just a whole variety, but I think it really does make it look special. So anyway, I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed this and that you'll make yourself or a gift for someone one of these wonderful tag folders. Thanks for watching, everybody. And Anna and Elena, thank you for having me. I always have a great time designing projects with your beautiful papers. Thanks, everybody.